Okay, Connor, can you tell us a little bit about what kinds of bullying and cyberbullying goes on at the high school level?
Well, the high school level, which is very, very interesting, I've learned that through the years of elementary and middle school, funny thing is that really a lot of bullying doesn't happen in these levels because of the things that they know, learn. Basically, once they learn what other things that they can hurt people, which is just disgusting if you think about it, what they can do, they get to learn these new ways of tormenting people. And that's why I think through elementary and middle school, it was a great year for me.
Okay.
But once you get to the high school, it is like there's a bomb that drops on you.
And so,
There's people that really are just mean and they love spreading rumors and saying stuff that you don't really like.
okay, so give me an exact example of like mean, negative, hurtful behaviors that they
Well,
do.
an example is like, so I'm in lunch, right? And so, I mean, this is actually what happened. This kid, he goes around and says a lot of negative stuff to people that aren't really true. And so what they say is like some things, oh, well, Connor's like this, Connor's gay, blah, blah, blah. But what's really funny is they say this stuff, it's not really true, and they just do it to, I guess, get a rise out of themselves so they can hurt the people that they hurt,
Okay.
but not really hurt themselves.
Okay. And do you have any idea like the kinds of kids that do this? I mean, is it people that you were ever friendly with, or are these just random people?
Well, one was in particular a friend of mine, and then he just went off the rails. I think it's for attention. He hates when people ignore him, I guess, if you can say. He's like me. I'm not really. See, what's funny is before all this happened, I wasn't that popular, if you can say that. I wasn't really the guy that just went off and said, hey, you want to be friends with me? You know, I was quiet. I liked the friends I had. And so then after all this bullying and stuff that I've been doing personally, everybody just went off and just basically loved me now. I don't know if some people are just taking advantage because of my situation now that I'm so popular through media and stuff. They're trying to get into my head that way. But what's funny is everybody actually likes me and doesn't really bully me anymore just because of this website being out.
Okay. Okay, great. So what about that's your personal. So have you had any other kinds of bullying things that people have done to you?
Well, what's funny is there was this one incident that I'm actually in culinary in Beatty Tech. And so what's funny is we were going to the bus stop for Beatty Tech, which is in our like local school area. We wait for the bus usually, and it takes like 5 or 15 minutes to get the bus there. And so then waiting for the bus to come to pick us up for our other school, our other career school, the funny thing is they were actually throwing rocks at me, which
Really?
is just horrible if you can think about that. They were throwing rocks at me just to try to get me to engage in the bullying per se.
And this
And I was just trying to like not even like get involved. I didn't want to be like, oh, well, this dude is doing this, but I had to tell somebody. So the next day, basically, I just told the teachers and stuff, and they really hated me for that. But hey, I mean, you have to actually say, well, this is what they're doing. And this is what I like about our school. We have security cameras like you cannot believe. So if somebody bullies somebody, you can actually look on those tapes to see if they actually did anything. And they did. They caught them on tape. They did the punishment. But really, teachers don't really punish their kids like they should, because sometimes they are too lenient on the punishments, because sometimes they can just ignore it just not to get involved, and sometimes teachers just brush it off, which I hate, and then there's one instance that the victim is actually being blamed instead of the bully. because the victim is like saying, oh, well, he's doing this to me. And so, like, I've actually watched the Bully movie, which is a very great movie. And so, like, there was this one instance where this kid went to, like, the school, and he was being bullied by somebody. And so he's, like, apologizing to this other kid that was bullying him. And it was just so weird. And then he had to shake hands with him to be apologetic.
Yes.
And so what's funny about this whole thing is the teacher got the actual victim in trouble because he actually didn't mean to say sorry, because he's always been, like, bullying this kid.
Yeah.
And it's just so, like, wrong to actually blame the victim. It's not the victim's fault here. It's the actual bully that's the fault.
Right, but the problem, it sounds like the problem that you see is that all of a sudden, when the teacher or the vice principal or somebody calls in to say, okay, tell me about what happened, then all the bully does is just blame, the bully just blames the victim, right? So now all of a sudden they have no idea who did what.
Right, yeah.
So all they do is just say, no, I didn't, he did this, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, just for, I'm going to ask you just a question, and if you could kind of just speak to this. You know, what do the teachers do or not do, like in the classroom, when they see things, or do they, you know, how do you feel? Are they the right people to go to? Are you feeling that they're really able to protect the victims, or?
Well, what's funny is this is another point I was going to make about this whole thing. It seems the bullying happens when they're, per se, not in the room, you know, because teachers can be out of the room 1 minute and bully a kid in that 1 minute span. And so basically, if they're in the room, they do nothing because they're going to get in trouble. They know better not to bully the kid when the teacher's around, you know?
So what you're saying is the bully waits till the teacher walks out of the room.
Exactly, yes.
Okay. And are there times where you or people that you've known have told a teacher or an adult and they didn't help you?
Well, I mean, sometimes in my instance, I have told an adult. And what the funny thing is they really do something, but it's not to the extent that you want it at. Like, I mean, it's kind of, I think it's too much, but my preference is to expel the kid, because basically once the teacher or the principal or whoever's talking to the kid that bullied you, I don't think the bully listens to what the teacher's saying, because they don't really do anything except if they say, oh, I'm not going to do it anymore. The teacher's just going to say, okay, and let them go. You know, I mean, my per se is, if the bully does this like 2 or 3 times and they've been asked to stop, expel, or maybe like just maybe take them out, like suspension or something, because they have to have more stricter rules to be in place for all of this type of stuff that actually happens.
Okay. All right, Connor, thanks a lot for sharing your personal story. It means a lot to us, and I think your story will help a lot of other kids. So thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay.